faith will not work where integrity is missing. The blessing of God will not produce in your life where integrity is missing. It says in the book of Timothy, it says, holding on to faith and a good conscience. And it says, which many have forsaken and have shipwrecked. They have wrecked their faith. They have wrecked their lives because they abandoned the ingredients of a good conscience, which is the product of integrity. Hold on to faith. Hold on to integrity. And hold on to a good conscience. And that is when you can reap the produces of the blessing of God and that work in your life. Jacob, cunningly and through self-effort, received the blessing from his father Isaac and treated and maneuvered his brother Esau. It is one thing to receive the blessing. It's possible you can receive it, and many people carry blessings upon their life that are not producing. That was the case of Jacob. For several years, the blessing of God did not produce in his life. He carried the blessing before he gave birth to his children. Before he got married to Leah and to Rachel, he had the blessing of God upon his life all this while, but he never delivered. Why? For two reasons. My point two, he was depending on self, because he used his self-wit and human caprices to be able to cheat his brother and get what he got from his father. Then two, Jacob was cunning. And you cannot live a cunning lifestyle and expect the blessing that is at work, that is already deposited in you to work. You have to get to a point where you choose to live a life that pleases God, a life that is evidential, a life that is true, that everybody can see. I mean, what would people say after 10 years? They no longer see you in a particular place. What would they say about you? Would they say, oh, that man, when he was there, we know him, he stands for whatever he says. We know him, if he says he will do something, he will do it. We know him, he's straightforward, he's not cunning, he's not dubious. What will people say about you? That's a life of integrity. Don't claim to be a Christian and then your next door neighbor is talking ill of you or does not see your life as a good life, or if your life is not an exemplary life. Hold on to faith and a good conscience, which many have abandoned or neglected, and then they have shipwrecked. It was until when Jacob learned to depend on God, when he learned to give up on the life of toil, he learned to give up on the life of cunningness, he learned to give up on depending on himself, that God says, hey, are you now okay? Now come, let me show you how you can be blessed. You have the blessing in you all this while, but you were not looking at the blessing. You were depending on yourself. And as long as you depend on yourself, you shut God out. As long as you depend on another man, you shut God out. As long as you live a cunning lifestyle and try to achieve things with your own cunning human sense and everything, you still shut God out. So when you do these three things, you shut God out. But the blessing of God knows what to do at times. He knows what to do. The blessing will take you from where you are to where you ought to be. The blessing is that force, that divine empowerment that God has placed upon every man. That blessing is upon every man. The blessing will produce. It is the divine empowerment to produce, to help you excel and produce and to help you succeed in everything good. It is the blessing. You have it. But it will not work when you are depending on another man because you are shut God out. It will not work when you are struggling by yourself to make things happen because you shut God out. It will not work when you are living a cunning lifestyle because you still shut God out. You know, until when Jacob decided to give up on self-toil, give up on self-effort and listen to God, that God says, now I will give you strategy. This is what you do. Divine instruction came when he learned to make God and to look up to God. When he learned to make God his source and to look up to God alone. And he had the idea of coming up with spotted and speckled cattle. And before you knew it, all of Laban's cattle became spotted and speckled. Now, what is the lesson for us here? It is true. You might be dealing with a boss who is cunning and trying to enslave you and trying to do a lot of things, and he thinks it is working because he has done it for years and he's succeeding. But one encounter with God would change your life and keep that boss at the base of your life forever. How do I know? Because the sons of Laban cried in Genesis 31:1. They cried and said, look at Jacob. It is of our father's wealth has he gotten all this glory. And the glory there is wealth. I mean, Jacob became so big that the sons of Laban were crying that look at him, that he's not a big man. And the way he got that money was because, he got that wealth and all this was from our father. But he got it in a very organized and legal and pure means. There was no wickedness. The man who wanted to cheat him was eventually maneuvered by the Spirit of God. May God use us. When you learn to depend on God and not on self-effort and not on human caprices and not try to be cunning, then things will work out for you. This is how to make the blessing of God produce maximally in your life. You can make the blessing produce maximally beyond measure for you when you have learned to depend and look only on Jesus. Look only to Jesus. When you look to Jesus, men, because it will make men honor you. It will make women honor you. It will make men favor you. It will make women favor you. But you know that even though these people are favoring you, you are not looking up to them. Because you know that men cannot be trusted. You are looking only to the one who is worthy, the one who can be trusted. You are looking only to the El Shaddai, the God who is more than enough. The Lord spoke to Abraham and said, look unto me, Abraham. Walk before me and be thou perfect. Be perfect because you have lived any kind of life. But 13 years after giving birth to Ishmael through Hagar, God kind of stayed away from Abraham. He did not have a very strong communication with him during that period. And after 13 years, the Lord appeared to him and said, Abraham, come. I am the Lord your God. Walk before me from today and be thou perfect. And if you can walk before me and be perfect, anything in your life will change. And guess what? From that moment, he was 99 at the time. Abraham started to walk before God in a perfect manner. And then the blessing looking forward. The blessing, not about us. The blessing through Abraham is still blessing the world. This is a very powerful force. It is a powerful ingredient that God has placed at the disposal of every man, including you. But the only way you can make the blessing of God work for you is through these three important things. Depend on God. Avoid self-effort and avoid a dishonest and cunning way of life. See, people can get to the top through craftiness, through cunningness and deceit and everything. But I can tell you categorically that every wealth that is not gotten in the stand base of the scriptures comes with some kind of side effects. They come with side effects. But I'm talking about the wealth that you have and you will enjoy good health. You are wealthy, but you have good health. You are wealthy, your children are in order. You are wealthy, your wife is healthy. Everybody around you and everything around you is enjoying divine protection and divine peace because you are looking up to God. Make your eye single so that your whole body